We're in the series Be Happier, One Step at a Time. And the name of today's step is Celebrating. And this is the 10th step of a cycle of change. And we're looking back over what has happened and celebrating that. That's the theme. This 10th step is to celebrate and round off this particular now settled do pattern by noting insights that can impact future life and living cycles. And so we're doing our usual, pausing, listening, accepting. And when we look back, as we have at this stage of a change cycle, we can see how much better we've become as a person. The left-hand image reminds of some of the contradictory feelings that are part of setting out on a new do pattern. Initially, there was fear of the unknown, juxtaposed with an allure of an unclear promise outcome. The right-hand image depicts how, now, the pathway is clear and the pattern is integrated comfortably into life and living as a semi-automatic experience. In this left-hand image, the column in the middle represents the new pattern being integrated into life and living and surrounded by safe boundaries. These are an inner knowing of 1. What works, and 2. What doesn't work for this do pattern. These boundaries confirm that this pattern has now become a semi-automatic inclusion into life and living and requires little conscious attention. The right-hand image is a reminder that this is one cycle of life now completed that has moved me closer to that centre of my being, which is an experience of wholeness. In retrospect, it is worth remembering learnings. Doing this can pre-arm you for less stress in future cycles of change. One learning is, when you feel any kind of inner discomfort, pause and listen in that pause. There's a strong likelihood that it is an invitation. Discomfort is often a first step to move us beyond our comfort and or complacent zone, always necessary for further healing and inner growth. In this image, notice the mix of dark, representing struggle, and green, representing hope. As we have moved through this change cycle, the struggle is more in the background of our sensory memory, and the completion of this change cycle is metaphorically more like the circle at the end of the stem in our sensory memory. It will be a plus to reduce personal judgmental stress, to remember that both pullback energy and triggering of past trauma are an intrinsic part of the process of change and will be part of experience as you move through stages of yet another doing pattern change cycle. It is really worthwhile to name new horizons. These exist now that didn't before this now not new pattern settled. You will notice if you pause that there is an expansion of experience. There is a satisfaction in life existing now that didn't before. Another expanded horizon is that you can now trust your intuitive knowings. And this is more than you did before, for there has been much going with intuitive invitations without knowing a definite outcome in a completed change cycle. These two expanded horizons will enable you to face new challenges courageously, because you have experienced the benefits of having faced these challenges successfully. It is really worth giving yourself time now and again to savour the giftings of this completed change cycle. And so we've paused and we've listened and we've accepted. And when you look back, you can see that there's been positive emotional movement forward for you. Noel Davis has a poem called "So Let's Slip On Our Dancing Shoes." Metaphorically, we put on our Dancing with Life shoes when we listen to and embrace inner invitations. Pausing regularly and often is necessary for this to be a possibility. After having savoured the new birthings of a now not new do pattern, and moving on by slipping on our Dancing with Life shoes, we are enabled to step more courageously than before into other growth and healing cycles. The completion of a Dancing with Life cycle has brought new giftings and as well concludes a healing cycle that has brought us more fully to who we are invited to become.